think the one thing I do better than anybody else is just I handle crisis calmly. It's one of those things when crisis strikes us, most people panic. And I think this comes originally from my days as a Army medic to a paramedic where we were trained to save lives when all hell was breaking loose, to now helping business owners deal with the ultimate crisis when dealing with IRS or major tax issues. Is when that crisis happens, most people just panic. They don't know what to do. They freeze up, which is a very understandable thing. But when that happens, what I do, I like to come into there and just come in there with that calm voice and assure somebody that any type of crisis can be handled as long as you do it calmly, effectively, and kind of think through the crisis. That's what I do best. Part of my story is what a lot of people don't realize how I ended up in this work. I went 8 years not filing my own taxes, where
Oof.
the IRS was coming after me and the state of California, who I affectionately call Cali Claw because they claw after your bank accounts and your checking accounts and your
Ruthless franchise. Yeah.
oh, franchise tax board just gets you. I even wrote a book, and we'll talk about shut down Cali Claw because that's who they are. People think the IRS is bad. No, they got nothing on Cali Claw, franchise tax board, for those of you guys that know of them. But
Yeah.
yeah, it's just, they were all coming after me, and I got away from my training. I wasn't thinking clearly. I got away from it for 8 years, not thinking, I had my work life all right, but my financial life was in chaos. And I wasn't thinking clearly and kind of really kind of knew what to do. And it took now a past friend, an EA, CPA, former IRS agent, who I came to him and said, I don't know what to do. And he says, you know what? I know what to do. And we're going to think clearly. And we're going to get this resolved. And you
Now, was
know,
this before or after you became the tax debt specialist?
this is way before I became that.
Way before. So
Yeah,
would you say it's almost like a catalyst for you getting into this?
it was the reason I did it, and it's weird because as I mentioned, the 8 years I didn't file my taxes. I was actually working as a EMT paramedic in Southern California, so those were the 8 years, and I made that. People say, "Well, why did you do that?" I took advice. This is a business show. I took advice from the wrong type of person. That's one of the worst things you can do, and it was the younger. I always say the young guy. He was the 21-year-old, and I was like 18, 19. He saw me work doing a lot of overtime. He's like, "Hey, claim 10 exemptions on your check. You'll get a bigger paycheck." Well, I did that, and you always get a bigger paycheck when you claim less, right?
Yeah.
Exemptions.
Yeah.
Problem was I didn't realize the big tax bill that you got at the end of that time frame.
Right.
And then, I decided not to file, and that not filing turned into 8 years later.
So let's talk about somebody's in this situation,
Yeah.
and like I know how it feels. I've been there myself and ended up with an offering compromise. So it was
Oh,
that kind
excellent.
of kind of grave.
Yeah.
And so, but let's talk about the first step. Like if you're in this situation where you have a tremendous amount of tax debt and you don't know what to do,
Yeah.
what is the first step that we have to take?
The first step is to come to that realization is that you got to take the first step. Is to say, this is not going to resolve itself, and I need to speak to somebody. Because the problem with tax debt, and Josh, you felt it, I felt it, millions of people. The problem with tax debt, it's not that Thanksgiving subject that you bring up at the dinner table, right? I owe a lot of money to the IRS. I haven't filed. The problem with tax debt is not it's something you don't share with most people, let alone even your family. You don't want them to know what's going on in your life. So you need to find somebody to be able to speak about this, to say, "Hey, I have a problem and I need to get it resolved." And that could be me, or a tax professional that is licensed to be able to do that. Because once you have that conversation, and I tell people all the time, when you call me, what you're going to hear from me is one, more than likely, is that every problem can be solved. Every problem. There is an option for you. It's not, and once you understand that, and then we lay out the specific steps on how to get it fixed, you start to realize it wasn't that scary monster in the closet. The
Hmm.
monster was actually a lot smaller because there's options. Everybody has options. I don't care if you owe $10,000 or $10 million. There are options for everybody, and the government wants to work with you. The problem is that most people just hide and think that it's just going to go away, and it doesn't go away. And for years, Josh, one of the big things during COVID, the IRS literally shut down all collections for almost 4.5 years. They didn't come after nobody for taxes, nothing whatsoever. So
Hmm.
nobody got notices. A lot of people have this false sense of security. Oh, they forgot about me. And the
Hmm.
problem is this last year, they started literally resending out notices for all those old taxes or unfiled returns. And now they're getting, we got a stack this morning, it was almost this high of notices saying, yeah, we didn't forget, and where's our money? And you got to deal with it now. And going back to your original question, what's the first step? It's saying, I need help. I got an issue here. Who can I speak to start getting on that path to getting this thing cleared up? Because there's many options available.
Yeah, that's right. And so, where can somebody go to learn a little bit more about this and get connected with you?
I think the best place to go, I do have a website, taxdebtconsultant.com, but I think the best thing everybody can do, I have this book. It's a free book. You can get it on Amazon or you can get it for free. It's called How to Make the IRS an Offer They Can't Refuse. There you go.
Okay.
I actually just gave away my last book this morning to a client, but this book is free, taxdebtbook.com, taxdebtbook.com. Get the book. Tells my story. It gives you the three basic steps all tax problems can get resolved. And then, once you download the book, you'll get all my contact information as well. And if you want to, reach out to us, have a conference, a consultation, I'm more than happy to do that. We do that at no cost and give people the direction that they need to go.
Very good. Well, hey, we're going to wrap up from here. Thanks so much
Yeah.
to our guest, Carlos Samaniego, for coming on and sharing a little bit of wisdom about how he exercises leverage in his life. For those of you who want to connect with him directly, you can go and get his book at taxdebtbook.com. And once again, if you are a busy entrepreneur who needs to get out of the weeds, we'll place a professional virtual assistant in as little as 7 days. You can learn more at vaiq.net. Until next time, remember this: if you want the win, push your chips in. It's time to leverage everything.